On the eve of the Mammoth season opener, we've got 3 burning questions that will determine whether or not this team makes the playoffs.
You are Locked On Mammoth, your daily podcast on the Utah Mammoth, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again to Locked On Mammoth. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño, and together we bring you Locked On Mammoth each and every single weekday. Thanks for making us your first listen when it comes to the Utah Mammoth hockey team. Robyn, it's Thursday. It's game day. On the road against the Avalanche, the Mammoth will launch their 2025-26 regular season NHL campaign. We have 3 burning questions that, Robyn, I don't think it's in any way hyperbole to say that these things need to happen if this team is going to be a playoff team. And for me, the answer to all of these questions better be in the affirmative. Otherwise, I feel like there's bigger problems afoot for the Mammoth. This is a big season. Big season.
It is absolutely a big season. I feel like, Tom, this season is a turning point season, right? It's no longer a team that's kind of rebuilding, but this is a team that's ready to compete. And this is how we feel, right? And I feel like a lot of people feel this way. A lot of people say that, yeah, this is where this team should be. Here are expectations, but there's a lot of things that still need to happen that we need to observe for us to say, okay, we are in fact in this stage.
Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Robyn, our everydayers know that we have set the bar at playoffs or bust, and for the newcomers, welcome. It is playoffs or bust this year. That's just where it has to be in the evolution of this team. And again, the reason we set the bar there, not so much based on only last season, and I know that, Utah fans might be thinking that, but Robyn, if we've been following this team for as long as we have, which both of us, it's over 10 years now, if we were writing a newsletter back in the day about the Coyotes when we initially started following this team to now, we've seen the growth and evolution and development of this roster in particular. This time it's playoffs or bust. So knowing that, heading into this season, the very first thing, and I know everydayers probably know where I'm going with this, defense, Robyn.
Yes.
The defense needs to be better. The talent is there. I really do believe the talent is there. I don't know what I would change about this D-core. Like, if you're saying, Tom, can you cherry pick a guy here, a guy there? Yeah, send me Cale Makar. Okay, that's going to make us better. Great. No, the team that is assembled, the talent on the roster, I believe, is a playoff defensive core. But I need them to be better.
I mean, 100%. I mean, you're getting, you're getting some high quality caliber players in Sergachev and Marino, Durzi. Like, no matter where they can, how you slice it, those players are, playoff caliber defensemen. But here's the thing, Tom, and this is something we talked about last year. When it comes to the defense, is that we have yet to see a defense that has been 100% healthy while working a full, working as long as they have. Like last year, remember, right out of the gate, before the season even began, Marino was out until February, right? And then 3 games in, Durzi goes out. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now they're healthy, so now all eyes, extra eyes, are going to be on the defense because, okay, you're healthy. Let's see what you can do.
So, Robyn, to me, one of the differences this year, and a guy who has the ability to help make a difference, although as a rookie, I'm not putting too much weight on his young shoulders. Dimitri Simishev has a chance to make an impact, is in the top 6, and Robyn, we've actually seen a little bit of a shuffling of the top 6 D pair. Simishev, tons of upside, tons of upside. Now, it depends on his usage case, how much of an impact he will have. And again, as a rookie, I expect there will be mistakes there. But so now that highlights the need for, I mean, I'm going to call out Sergachev to make less mistakes, right? Less cross ice passes, less blind outlets. And actually, Robyn, what I would like to see from the defense, believe it or not, is not more headlong rush. I want to see more patience. I want to see them slow the game down for themselves and
Mm-hmm.
be able to make sure they're making the right play at the right time, make the right reads.
Be smart
Like,
on the breakout.
yeah. Yeah, no cross ice 3-zone hopers. I don't want to see that. No rainbow wish passes through center from your own face-off dot. That's got to go. Play with pace, play with your own pace, but be smart. Be alert, be aware. And we really didn't see that as much as I would have liked to last year, and it led to turnovers, it led to goals. It was problems, and it cost
I mean, it led to 3-on-1 turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you make that mistake at the other team's blue line and then they're just blowing the other way. Ooh, that's hard. And that's hard for your defense partner to handle. Your back checker's now got to hustle to come back, and it puts your goaltender in an awful situation. And we saw it in the preseason too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm concerned about the defense. To me, that is the number one burning question, because if you can keep the puck out, Robyn, you can win games.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I need to see more. And so Simishev, my point in bringing him up was he's going to have an impact. Just don't expect him to be a miracle worker. If he is, he's rookie of the year, right?
Yeah.
If he becomes that miracle worker, Calder Trophy. But
I mean, here's something, Tom. Did you see? And I'm not sure. The lines that were in practice earlier this week, right?
You and I talked about that off air. Yes.
Yeah, I saw. I sent it to you. Where Simishev was paired out with Cole as a third pair D,
and they had shifted Mata actually down to fourth pair, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, Mata and DeSimone down on the fourth. So
yeah,
this guy getting those extra skating minutes.
So Robyn, are they going to address 8 and 10?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think they'll do that. I think that is.
Oh my god. 8D for one game. Oh no, it's
no,
Robyn and I. If that's a very very old joke with Robyn and I, is we just don't like when they dress 7D and they do it a decent amount. We'd rather have 60.
The 11-7 is.
Yeah, we don't like that. So now we'll expand the joke to 8 and 10, because you can dress 18 skaters, 2 goalies for each game. So, Robyn, so the defense to me has got to be better. I think that is incumbent on the veteran leadership of this defensive core. And here's the thing. Look, Sergachev's a year older, a year smarter. Durzi's a year older, a year smarter. They have Nate Schmidt here now, who I think can be a calming, steadying influence. Cole has always been a calming, steadying influence. Very quietly, I love Ian Cole. I think he does such a wonderful job back there. But now he's going to have to work with the younger guys, the Simishevs. And even, look, Schmidt and Cole can still take aside the Sergachevs, Durzys, and Marinos of the world and say, hey, let's look at this. Let's talk about that. Even in game, those guys are little coaches out there on the bench. And they need them. They need them in a big way to make a major impact.
That's what your 30-plus-year-old defenseman will do for you.
That's why
they've been around the game for such long enough.
Yep. And maybe, Robyn, this is what we're going to see, is the rotation of one of a Schmidt, a Cole, and a Mata in and out of the lineup. And as I said before, and I like Nick DeSimone a lot. I think he did an admirable job, and I think he's a very valuable piece, but he's the break glass in case of injury, right? Mata will be the defenseman that cycles in and out there as well for this team. And depending on the assignments, too. Depends on who they're facing.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a knock to DeSimone in any way. I feel like I feel like, you know, he knows he knows what his role is with this team at this point.
Yeah. And I think he's very good at it. So
yes,
I like, on paper, I really like this defense. I like it. It
is a very stout defense on paper. And again, we just need to see results.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Show me. Show me. And they're going to get a chance starting tonight against the Avalanche. We're talking about 3 burning questions that really will make or break the Mammoth playoff fate. We've got 2 more points and an Avs preview coming your way. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, the NFL season's here, if you hadn't noticed, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It makes watching football even more exciting. You got a little something riding on the action. Maybe you're dropping into a game in the fourth quarter. Maybe you're following your team, go Bills, all the way through, and you're building that same game parlay. You're diving deep into the stats. FanDuel makes the game so much better, so much more fun. The experience is awesome. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño. Hey, if you're still here and you have not yet subscribed to Locked On Mammoth, please do so right now. We just passed 1550 on YouTube. Thank you for that. We appreciate you guys so much. And you can get the audio version of this anywhere you get your podcasts. It's a nice way. If you can't get to YouTube, you can listen to it on your smart device as well by asking that particular personal assistant to play the most recent episode of Locked On Mammoth. So keep that in mind. There's always a way to listen to our coverage. So, Robyn, 3 burning questions. I think defense is number 1. I didn't want to make this a point within defense because to me, it's an overall point that covers the entire team, from the coaches to the trainers to the goalie, forward, defense, and probably the stick boys. Consistency. Yes. This one's huge. I don't even know why I put it second. It really should be first.
It's 100%. I
see the angst on your face, Robyn. I see the angst.
You and I have talked time and time again about the consistency of this team, or inconsistency. The point where I would say it's a consistently inconsistent team, and I would bang my head over so many times about this over the last several years. And I'm like, all right, when are we finally going to change? When are we finally going to get rid of, second period, absences? Where are we, when are we going to put together a 60-minute game and actually stay that way for a solid multiple string of games in a row, rather than maybe a flash here and then you play up to a Stanley Cup team and then all of a sudden, like, you lose to Chicago and, like, whatever it is, right? Like, what are you doing?
There have been, now look, Chicago played Florida pretty well the other night in Florida.
They did.
So that does happen, but that's the other thing you have to realize. This is part of the consistency, is when you're a team above another team in the standings, they're going to try to play up to you and they're going to come at you. So look, it's great if you match up awesome with Edmonton. And Robyn, the game I'm thinking of right now wasn't even a Utah Mammoth game. It was the last game in Phoenix against the Oilers. And they played
that game so well.
The farewell game. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself at that time, I said, man, if only they could be like this every night. Even back then I was thinking this. And now that they're here, and after year 1 in Utah, the same thought is still there. And Robyn, after the preseason, the same thought is still there. And this thought goes back years. And consistency, and the guys even said it this year, right? We heard it out of the mouths of several players in training camp. What do you guys need? Consistency. I was actually going to do a video where I chopped up everybody's game day or, media availability when they came into camp and they asked them about it. I would have had like 10 guys saying consistency. Yes, absolutely. And this includes the mental and physical mistakes. If they can stick to the game plan, which is something else I'm going to talk about. But Robyn, this is just the biggest thing. Like, Lawson Krause was wildly inconsistent last year. I'll even say that the big names were Sergachev was inconsistent last year. Keller was inconsistent last year, although he was the most consistent player. Like they all had a little bit of it.
Even as much as we praised him, Guenther wasn't consistent.
Oh no,
right?
Guenther was peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
But that's a young player, and you try to
Yes.
iron those out. And hopefully, same thing with Cooley. You iron those out. Paterka, you're going to iron those out as you get older and you mature.
And again, and I think that's the thing too, is for a while we made the excuse because it's a young team. It's like, oh, it's a young team. They're still learning. They're still learning how to be together. But at this point, they've been with each other for years.
Yeah.
They understand each other's and how they work, and they play 82 games with each other and whatever it is, and it's.
And guess what? Nobody tried to actively get worse in the offseason. In the NHL's most competitive division, no one tried to become a worse hockey team. So keep that in mind. Everybody around you got better. That means you need to be even better.
Yeah,
to get into the playoffs. And consistency is going to be a huge factor.
It's going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge factor. And I think Tom, like, and to the point of consistency, there is, I guess an even extra point that I think will fall within the consistency category. And to me, it's it is those penalties, right?
Yeah, effort.
Yeah,
a lot of times you take those lack of effort penalties, the hooking, the holding, where you get your stick parallel or your arm parallel. That's when the ref's going to call it.
Too many men, delay of game, like.
Yeah, those are frustrating. And then it puts you in a situation where you have to kill penalties, which is the most taxing thing to do. And even if you kill it off.
Remember last year, Tom, like I warned you because like something that like maybe you weren't following the team as much as you used to before going and starting with Utah. But I warned you. I warned everybody. Watch out. Like one thing that I don't want to see is this team taking too many men on the ice penalties. And some people were like, okay, like that was an Arizona thing. They're more experienced. They won't do it again. And then within 2 games after I made the warning, they had 2 of those penalties within a game. And I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah. The mental mistakes are the killers. They absolutely are, Robyn. And you need to cut those down. But that's all part of understanding and being together. And again, it goes through everybody. It's the players' awareness. It's the coaches' awareness. It is all of that together within the game, the focus in the context of the game. That's playoff teams have that. Okay. Can we just say that playoff teams have that together? That is not something they have to think about. They do that very rarely. And look, mistakes happen. But when you see it and it becomes a pattern, again, that fits under the umbrella of consistency. And that's where it can get a little or a lot frustrating because they got to stop giving those points away. So, all right. We've got 3 burning questions. That's 2 of the 3. Can they be more consistent is a huge one. Can the defense be better? We've got the 3rd one. Plus, we're going to talk about that Avs game because Colorado's already played a game. So we kind of have an idea who Colorado is at this point. We'll talk about that. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño, Locked On Mammoth. Boy, you want to talk about consistent? We're consistent 5 days a week, dropping Locked On Mammoth for you. So please tell your friends about the show. We are here talking the Utah Mammoth every single day of the week. And we're going to have extra shows, bonus shows, a lot more fun coming up this year. You guys wanted more lives. We're going to give you more lives. So we're going to be doing that, maybe some pre, some post, and looking forward to it because Robyn, all of a sudden we're kicking things off here on Thursday night against the Colorado Avalanche. I kind of feel like training camp almost escaped us. It went by pretty quick. And I mean, I felt like we were wringing our hands all summer. When are we just going to drop the puck? Well, today, if you're, by the way, if you're watching this on Thursday, when the episode drops, today is when we're getting. I
still feel like the draft was just last week.
Isn't that kind of, it's wild to see how fast it went. And of course, it would be wonderful if Desnoyers had been healthy to see if he would have had a shot to land on this roster. Because, by the way, just as an aside, before I get completely sidetracked, the top 3 draft picks from this summer are all on their team's opening night rosters. So That's interesting. And of course, Desnoyers is not even going to be able to play for a little bit yet because of the wrist surgery. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
And him getting sent back to Moncton too, and remember we were talking about this. The question is he going to go to college or not? Because now it's an option among junior players. But
that's hey, Arizona State for the real hardcore everydayers who are still in Arizona. You guys got to host Penn State and Gavin McKenna, and you saw the just absolute storm that was around that. ESPN carried the series. When's the last time ESPN carried something that wasn't playoffs or a beanpot game? I don't even know if they carry the beanpot anymore.
Hey, did you see the by the way for that the picture of the of Scouts Row?
Was it packed?
A whole entire row of reserve seats for NHL scouts.
That's wild. That's awesome, though. I mean, that just tells you college hockey is different now. Maybe we should do an episode on that, Robin, just because that landscape has changed so much with the NIL money. So much. Which is crazy. But McKenna, I think, was getting like $700,000 essentially to leave junior hockey to go to Penn State. So,
oh yeah, the NCAA is completely changed, and it's crazy.
The rules have changed. Robin, I've led with the first of the two of the three burning questions here. Do you want to give me one of yours here, or do you want me to keep leading? Because I know we've talked about this, but
I feel like so here. All right. So here's something, and it's interesting because I didn't expect this to be a burning question for me. Tom. And this is something that that you would probably appreciate at this point. But now let's address the goaltending, because with how, and we've talked about it already, but with how Veggie played during the preseason, I have already told you, Tom, and made the opinion that Veggie is an unproven goalie still. I loved how he played last year, but the fact that he's still unproven because he hasn't strung together 2 back-to-back solid seasons at all during his career yet. While Vitek Vanacek is looking really good. So at what point, what are we going to see this year out of goaltending?
Robin, if folks wanted to tie a rope around these 3 burning questions, can they be more consistent? Can they be better defensively? And will the goaltending be good enough? And who will that goaltender be that is the starting goaltender that makes it good enough? There's a theme here. And it all has to do with keeping the puck out of your net. Because, Robin, what we're saying is we are not concerned about the number of goals going in the opposition net.
No, the offense looks great.
We are not concerned about Utah's ability to score. I want to know, and this is how I would have worded it, but I do want to talk about the goaltending too. But my third burning question really is, what is this team's identity? We've heard Bear say, I want to play up-tempo with speed. But yet, Bill Armstrong drafts big, physical, punish you. Can those two coexist? Do they coexist? And if they do coexist, great, let's find a way to mesh that this year, because I think those disparate parts have not yet come together. But if they don't coexist, something's got to change. And Robin, on the back end, obviously, the Mammoth had a different situation with what went down with Connor Ingram. That was just unexpected in a lot of ways. So Veg became the guy, did an admirable job as the starter. Again, we thought played too much down the stretch. But that said, they rewarded on Veg with a contract befitting an NHL starter based on 2 good years and 1 bad year in the middle. So now you're putting that player back out there who doesn't look so good in camp, but you bring in Vitek Vanacek, who they do have very high thoughts of and really believe Vanacek is a good goaltender and looks it in the preseason. But here's the thing, Robin, too, what kind of distraction or controversy? I mean, we talk about the Cooley contract, but what if there is a little bit of a goaltending switcheroo here and Vanacek becomes your starter? Does that cause anything in the room? I hope not, but it could, because now your starter is paid like your backup.
In the ideal world here, Vanacek plays well and starts fighting for that starter spot, right? But Veggie kind of sees what's happening, and he's like, "No, that's my net, man. I am taking this back." And we see him, and we see a fire lit under his bias.
I want to see that. Absolutely. I want to see like 1A and 1AA, not even 1B. You
Right?
know,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. And
I
and
mean,
and
that's
maybe
I mean,
that
again, that's the
pushes.
ideal. That's the ideal world. That's what we. I mean, that's what any tandem, goaltender, person wants, right? They want that. They want each other, each goalie to essentially lift each other up to try to compete. It's like, hey, no, I'm the starter. No, it's my net. It's what he would. It's gonna be interesting.
Robyn, when I played, I remember the thought, I always had this mental struggle inside my head during each and every game because you know what? I wanted all the shots. I wanted all the action. I wanted to stop every single puck, and I wanted 300 shots a game. But also in my brain knows that we can't win if we don't score in the other end. So sometimes I've just got to hang out by my net with nothing to do. But that's the kind of competitive mindset you have. You always want to be busy. You always want to be making the saves. You want to win the game for your team. And I think that the competition can push them both to be there. Can they both respond? I think so. The capability is there. We have seen them both be that kind of capable. I do expect early on there's going to be a rotation.
Yeah.
I said in my bold predictions though, and I'm
I
might
mean,
be going out on a limb. I think Vanacek might win that competition in the early going.
it should be no surprise that Veggie will be the starter tonight.
Correct.
But
Correct. Yes, absolutely. He has earned that right from last season. Hopefully the preseason he got what he needed. Again, I said I was surprised he didn't play more. I would like to have seen him play more because I think he still looked like he was shaking off some rust. But maybe the adrenaline pumping and he gets out there against an Avalanche team who, by the way, Robyn, looked pretty darn good in dismantling the LA Kings, who are supposed to be a playoff team. They beat them 4-1, and I don't think they broke a sweat doing it. LA was constantly taking penalties. The Avalanche were bombarding that LA net. Now, Colorado got itself in a little bit of penalty trouble for a while there, but boy, oh boy, the Avs look like they're already firing on all cylinders. So this is a tough assignment on the road. It is Colorado's home opener, so they're going to be riding an emotional wave.
they got to do it, and Utah's got to do whatever they can to weather that storm. It's gonna be hard.
This is a typical, atypical because it's the season opener, but typical road game where, Robyn, that's exactly it. Coaches will talk about we've got to survive the first 5-10 minutes on the road in the first period against an emotionally charged, fired up team that is there to put on a show for the home crowd. You got to get through that. Hopefully even better if you sneak one in, punch them in the mouth and grab an early lead.
Yeah,
But
you at that point, like, and I think even weather the storm wouldn't even be the right term here, because at this point is you like don't weather it, attack, just attack, to go for it, just get as much offense as you can get going. You want to be able to, because you want to be able to get the kill that momentum by scoring early.
that's the Avalanche playbook. Maintain and possess the puck and just volume of chances. Eventually they go in, right? That is what they do. I would love to see Utah take a page from that book. Offensive possession, maintain the puck, volume of chances, because they have the talent to do it. So I'm curious to see this, Robyn. This is a huge test right out of the gate. You want to know where you're at, Mammoth fans?
Here you go. You're up against the playoff team to start things off. Let's see how you go.
So, Robyn, your thoughts, how this game comes out. I said I looked ahead to their opening weekend. I saw them with a potential, even on the road, to go 2-1, because after this, it's Nashville and Chicago. I just don't know if they pull this one out on the road against Colorado.
To partially answer that, Tom, let's take a look at where the odds are.
Okay.
Right? Because I think the odds might be a little bit telling where some of these people think it's going to go, and then I'll tell you how it's going to go. So the Avalanche are favored, by the way. minus a goal and a half at minus 184, plus 152 for the Avalanche, for the Mammoth, excuse me, on the money line, and with a 6.5 goal total. I could certainly see this being a high scoring game. With how everything we've talked about, like, I mean, you and I have said this Utah team knows how to score. That's I'm not worried about. But it's the other side that we seem to be concerned about on all three burning questions, right? So we had to see that. But I just don't know they have what it takes this time. I think it'll be close. I just don't think they will have what it takes to come out with a win to start.
And this is always where, Robyn, it's, that goal and a half is dangerous, because if it's 4-3 late and Utah's trailing, they pull the goaltender, Avs get an empty net goal. Oh, now it's over instead of under.
Yeah.
That's where these are always tricky. But boy,
I would love I would love to see this Utah push for the overtime period.
I think getting a point on the road against the Avalanche in their home opener would definitely be a win.
Yeah, that the players and coaches, whatever, they always say there are no moral victories, but if you get to overtime against the Avalanche and a home opener like that with them going that fast, I'll take it.
Robyn, the only thing I'm asking for is this team to surprise me based on their preseason action. Like, just surprise me. Show me that somehow you managed to get it all together by playing those preseason games, and that your defense is capable, even though you let the Sharks repeatedly come back on you. I know the offense looked much better the last couple of games. Yeah. Just show me that you're better.
And they're going to keep shuffling the lines. Like, I think not necessarily the forward lines they're going to be shuffling a whole lot of, even though I think I saw.
We're getting our kid line that we asked for, Robyn.
Yeah, the kid line, we are seeing that, which is really cool.
Guenther, Cooley, Peterka. I can't wait.
I mean, did you also see from earlier this week, Jack McBain was on the first line of Keller and Schmaltz.
I know. And that was interesting too. Now, I wonder, here's something I'm going to wonder out loud about that is that a move to kind of shield Barrett Hayton a little bit? Maybe he's not 100% up to speed, but the third line should be crash and bang and high energy. So I don't know that you're really shielding him from anything. Although I do agree he's a better fit for that. I think that in an ideal world, if Cooley was your 1C or your 2C and you had another legit 1C, then yes, Hayton is a 3C and a very good one. I would love to see him be the 3C on a regular basis, because it means you have somebody else who is either the 1 or the 2C elevated above him.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And obviously those were the line rushes from earlier this week. They very well could have changed them by morning skate.
Sure. And we're putting this out in the AM well before morning skate, so we haven't had a chance to look at the lines of the game day skate. But Robyn, I mean,
we'll probably do like an updated, very quick live show, and if there's anything we really feel like,
if there's something big, we definitely will. But hopefully, Robyn, for this Avalanche game, I mean, they just need to come out with effort, consistency, and make these things happen. That's all we're looking for, is that consistency of effort.
That's all we want.
So what are your 3 burning questions? Let us know down there in the comments. Tell us what you're focused on for this season for this team as they head into the season opener against the Colorado Avalanche. You can comment down there on YouTube, or Robyn, if they want to hit us up on social media, where can they find us?
They can find us everywhere on social media. We're primarily active over on Twitter/X. You can find us there at Locked On Mammoth. It's at Locked On Mammoth. We got the same handle for just about every social media account. So if you whatever social media account you use, you can find us there. You can find me personally, also mainly active on Twitter/X at Robyn_Leaño.
You can find me over on Blue Sky at Tom Talks, and on Twitter at Callahan on Air. We always welcome your comments. Love when you guys interact with us here on the show. And once again, as always, well, number 1, happy opening night, everybody. Hope you're excited. And number 2, thanks as always for being a part of Locked On Man.